Hi there, my name is Ruben Rubio. I am going to be your insurance consultant this next journey that we're going to take. This journey is going to talk about life insurance. A lot of people ask about life insurance. A lot of people think they don't need life insurance. Many people insure their homes, they insure their cars, even their jewelry. But what they need to do is insure themselves. You know why? Because you are a moneymaker. If you make money, you provide for your family, your wife, your kids, or you have a business. There is no way to replace you. The only way is to have an insurance plan that will cover you the right way. If you liked the content and want to show your support, make sure that you like and comment below. For all questions and inquiries, you can submit them through my content form at RubenRubioTX.com. You can also find me across all the social medias, Ruben Rubio TX. Thank you, may the Lord. Hello, my name is Ruben Rubio. Help support my channel by visiting my website, RubenRubioTX.com, on your phone, tablet, or PC. For Facebook, go to the menu and click on the Facebook logo. On my Facebook page, click like and follow. For Instagram, go to the menu and click on the Instagram logo. On my Instagram profile, click follow. For YouTube, go to the menu and click on the YouTube logo. On my YouTube page, click subscribe and ring the bell for all notifications. For Twitch, go to the menu and click on the Twitch logo. On my Twitch page, click the heart to follow. If you have questions you'd like answered on one of our live streams or YouTube videos, go to the menu and click on Ask a Question. Fill out all the details in the form and click Submit. You can choose to be anonymous or have your first name mentioned on the video. If you'd like to schedule a phone appointment, go to the menu and click Schedule Phone Appointment. Fill out all the details and when the best time to reach you, and we will get back to you at our earliest time available. Hola, mi nombre es Ruben Rubio. Para apoyar mi canal, visite mi sitio de web RubenRubioTX.com en tu teléfono, tableta o computadora. Para Facebook, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de Facebook. En mi página de Facebook, haga clic en like y siga. Para Instagram, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logo de Instagram. En mi perfil de Instagram, haga clic en seguir. Para YouTube, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de YouTube. En mi página de YouTube, haga clic en suscríbase y haga sonar la campana para todas las notificaciones. Para Twitch, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de Twitch. En mi página de Twitch, haga clic en el corazón para seguir. Si tienes preguntas que le gustaría responder en alguno de nuestros live streams o videos de YouTube, vaya al menú y haga clic en Ask a Question, llene todos los detalles del formulario y haga clic en Enviar. Puede elegir ser anónimo o que su primer nombre se mencione en el video. Si desea programar una cita por teléfono, vaya al menú y haga clic en Schedule Phone Appointment. Llene todos los detalles y cuando es el mejor momento para llegar a usted y nos encontraremos en nuestro momento más temprano disponible.
Welcome everybody to today's Ruben Rubio TX live stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, where we're here talking about life insurance and different topics relating to it. If you want to find our social media, you can visit our website at rubenrubiotx.com. You can leave a question there as well as, and if you want to set up an appointment with Ruben Rubio himself, you can also fill out a form to let us know when the best time to reach you. And once again, thank you for joining us today, Ruben. How's it going?
Oh, it's going very well, Richard. Good afternoon. Thank you for seeing our show today. And today we're going to talk about reminiscing. It's
Great.
very unfortunate, but last week we had two deaths in the area. One of them was Mr. Alberto Gonzalez. His family contacted me on during the week and asking me if I could go and help out in what my capacity is. And of course, I helped out not just as an agent, but I'm also a chaplain. So I went ahead and talked to the family. We had a service. We had our hellos and goodbyes, and all the things that we have to do through this time of emotional pain and our grieving. And of course, the Lord did a very beautiful service. It was a very beautiful service, reminding everybody that life is too short. Mr.
Yeah.
Gonzalez was only 62 years old. Unfortunately, he had an accident, and of course, it got complicated. And he's now with the Lord. You know, and then again on that Friday, I got a call from a client of mine out of the Mission Alton area, Mr. Luciano Leal Chanito, a very good man. I've known him for 20 years, and unfortunately, he had gotten COVID, was in the hospital for about 6 weeks, and then they let him out, and his organs just gave up. And he was 61 years old. And he was a strong man, good man. Actually, he's the one that sold me that nice barbecue pit that I have.
Oh,
It's a
really?
huge
Nice.
pit. It's a big one. It's the one I make my hamburgers, and you get
Yeah.
pictures of my hamburgers and my ribs and my steaks, and of course when I do brisket, that's the one I use. And of course, I went to give my condolences today to his brothers and his sisters, his mom, his friends, which that entire family, most of that family is my clients, and they've been my clients for the last 20 years. And of course, when
Wow.
they usually call me, and it's usually to help them out in the final decisions of what they're going to do at the funeral home. And well, thank God that I'm able to go and sit down with a client. And as I've mentioned in the past, Richard, if
Mhm.
you're one of my clients, you have the right to call me and tell me, hey, Mr. Rubio, could you lend me a hand? And of course, I'm more than glad to go out there and be there with your family and be there to help you out and make sure they don't take advantage of you. You know how that goes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And well, we had a good time, and we talked about this and that, and of course we reminisced. And that's another one of the things we were reminiscing about. The music he loved and the music that his dad did, and and we talked
Yeah.
about different things in the family. Things that have happened accidentally, things that happen, I guess on purpose sometimes. Things that just make you laugh, and you
Yeah.
remember your loved one in the best of times and the best, worst of times. You just remember how they were, and we talked about that this morning because they asked me to go back, and I went ahead and took my claim form to be filled out and get everything prepared. After we finish our show, I'm gonna go ahead and fill out the claim form, email it to the company, and then I have to mail it physically to the company because that's when they can cut out a check and write it to the family. And of course, the family does appreciate whatever I sold them at the moment, because they understand that I'm very thorough in explaining. This is going to cost this much by this time. Let's get prepared. Let's know what we're going to want, because the
Yeah.
cemetery and the funeral home are two different bills, but usually we can combine them now because you can do both. And of course, funeral was almost 13.5 on one
Wow.
of them. The other one's about 16, 17,000. It's
Wow.
expensive to pass away. And a lot of people tell me, Mr. Rubio, but con 5,000 la hago. 5,000, that's not even the funeral home's charge nowadays. You're
Yeah.
way behind. And I mean, other people tell me, Mr. Rubio, that sounds very expensive. Look, when you're there, they don't finance funerals. You pay cash. And if you don't have the
Yeah.
insurance, you have to pay cash, or else they'll simply won't do the service. They won't do the funeral.
Hmm.
It's very sad, but that's the life, the way things go. Like I've mentioned this before. Unfortunately, this is how the cookie crumbles.
Wow. So, like, let's say, what would be the process then? Like, when someone passes away, um, and let's say they had I guess, a pre-need type of insurance. Um, what do you do at that point, when
Okay.
you go to the funeral?
When you have like a pre-need, they already decided what kind of service they're gonna have, what kind of casket they're gonna have. Sometimes they even mention what kind of flowers they're gonna have, what cemetery they're gonna go to. It's already pre-arranged. That's why it's called a pre-need. It's a pre-arranged funeral. But sometimes what happens is that people look at the casket and they say, you know what, that's kind of cheapy or flimsy, and they sometimes upgrade it, and of course that's when
Oh,
it becomes more expensive. And I tell them, well, look, if you can afford to upgrade it, let's go ahead and do it. But if you can't really afford to do it, let's just leave it the way it is, because from changing from a $1,200 casket to a $3,000 casket, of course that's $2,000, and you have to cough up that money at that time. And some
yeah,
people will say, well, there's five of us, each one of us can put $400, and we can, 400, four times four, no, is that, no, that's not right, is it?
probably.
No, that's not right. So
No.
we got to cough up $2,000. So they figure it out how much it is between five of them or four of them or three of them, and they just pay it out, because if you can afford it, $400 by five is, yeah, $2,000. Okay. But you
Yeah,
know how it is, Richard. At the moment something happens, what happens? I no tengo. I don't have the money. I can't
yeah,
afford it. You know, they haven't paid me yet. You pay and I'll pay you. Yeah, that means nothing, right?
uh, yeah,
That's
you
not
can
gonna
get paid.
happen. And of course, the other people will say, well, you know what? Just charge it, take it out of your credit card and pay the difference. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, I've had clients where I've had to go in there and tell them, okay, look, you are fighting something that you cannot afford. Just leave things the way they are. That's why I'm the go-between person. I'm your agent, and I'm trying to help out the family. And of course, like I've told you, and you've heard me say this many a times, I sat with the client. This is all they could afford, and this is what we get. Now, if you've got money, then the sky's the limit. Amen.
yeah,
Amen. So that's as simple as that. But sometimes they get kind of tedious and argumentative, and they start playing the blame game, and then and you need a referee. Okay, so that's what I
okay,
usually do when some of these
yeah,
things. No, 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 cálmense, let's do this, let's do that, let's come to an agreement. Now,
no,
on one of these families, they didn't ask me to do that. What they asked me was to come in and do the service, the night before, and then of course do the one that we're saying goodbye to the body for the final moments, and then we went to
yeah,
the cemetery, and of course I give whatever the word of God is being given to me. Usually when we're at the cemetery, I usually tell them, that today we're going to read out of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. But unfortunately, today we are going to want. We are wanting because that loved one, maybe him or her, is lacking in the family. And
mhm,
we pray to the Lord and surrender that person's body to the ground. And, there's hope, Richard, that one day if we accepted Jesus and we're serving the Lord with all our heart, we're going to go to heaven and we're going to be there with him. And of course,
yeah,
during these sermons, I tell them something that they don't like. I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is if you accept Jesus and you love him and serve him, you're going to go with him. The
uh-huh,
bad thing is if you accepted Jesus but you live like the devil, you're not going. I'm
uh-huh,
sorry. It's as simple as that. You can't have it both ways. You can't.
serve the Lord and live in sin. It's not doable. The Lord tells us in His Word that He doesn't allow that. It's either you serve one master or you serve the other one. You serve the Lord with all your heart, or you don't serve the Lord. It's as simple as that. And in the book of Hebrews, it tells you, after death, there's judgment, and judgment whether you go to heaven or whether you go down there to shovel some ashes and shovel hailstone or whatever you need to shovel down there. I don't want to know, but
So would you say it's kind of like life insurance where you're making the deal right now so that later you reap the benefit?
yes, yes. And I can't say it's after life insurance. Okay, it's life
Yeah.
insurance in good sense that, hey, if you accept the Lord, you can serve Him and be with Him. Because you can go to church and still not be saved. You can go to church and follow all the motions, pick up your hands, sing those pretty songs, but if you live like the devil, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Yeah.
I just want to thank everyone joining our live stream today on Ruben Rubio TX. We're
Mhm.
live on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube, where we discuss topics dealing with life insurance. And if you want to follow us, you
Let me
can
just
find
cut
our
this
social
one off.
media on RubenRubioTX.com. If you have any questions, you can submit them to our website, also there on RubenRubioTX.com. If you want to set up an appointment, you can also fill out a form. Let us know when's the best time to reach you. Once again, that website is RubenRubioTX.com. And today we're talking about reminiscing as friends and clients have passed away recently. We reflect on their lives as well as the next steps that happen once this event happens. So, like when we're talking about life insurance, what is the next process once the funeral has happened?
Okay, the next process is after the funeral has already passed, and we already did the absolute assignment that we're gonna assign some benefits to the funeral home. So the company will cut two separate checks: a check that will go directly to the funeral home, and hopefully they didn't overspend, so there'll be money left over for the family. Now, I've mentioned this on previous occasions. It really doesn't matter what life insurance you have, whether you have a whole life or a term policy. The best thing is to have something the moment something happens. Unfortunately, and I mentioned a couple of shows back. Remember, we talked about term policies. Term policies are great, but I find that 95% of people that have a term policy will never use it.
They'll outlive it.
They'll outlive their term, and they're going to have to get whole life down the line. And as I spoke to a lady these last couple of days, I told her, man, when I sold you this policy, you know, 20 years ago, what happened? It already passed. Hi, Mr. Rubio, how did 20 years pass so fast? I'm in the same boat as you. It just flew. Okay.
Yeah.
When I originally sold you this policy, I had a 7-year-old boy. He's 27 now. When I sold you this policy, I was renting. Now I own my own home. Life happens, and
Yeah.
you just got to get ready. And of course, as I'm talking to you about this lady, about her policy, and I'm telling her she needs to convert, she says, well, why? I still have a couple more years. Yeah, but we're in the last year. I can do something for you because you're going to turn 70 years old. And after that, I can't convert your policy. And I don't know how much longer you're going to live. Or here's the other thing, you probably will outlive your policy, and then you cannot afford the next policy. And the next policy, we're going to have to do a physical. We're going to have to do an exam. We're going to have to draw blood. We're going to have to, what if your health changed? Well, I'm
Yeah.
still healthy. Yeah, but that was when I sold you this so many years ago. So we're at the end where we need to do something now. Okay? When I sold all these other people that I've sold, I make them understand. Time flies. Okay?
Yeah.
Vuela el tiempo. Well, Richard, I'm already over 50, and my boys are grown up, and my next step is, of course, I will be a grandfather. You know,
Uh-huh.
hopefully, hopefully soon, or hopefully, you know,
Yeah.
and I want to see my kids grow up.
Yeah.
And I am leaving a legacy for them because the day something happens to me, hey, there's a little bit of money set aside for you guys the day I pass away to make sure that your life is more easy and more comfortable. Now, if
Yeah.
you really love me, you go buy a big policy and daddy, and of course, then you can live out all you want, whatever, it is that you're going to buy. A
Yeah.
hundred, $200,000. Hey, that's your inheritance. You know,
Yeah.
that's your advantage. See, I practice what I preach. So
Uh-huh.
if I tell clients, tell your kids to buy you a big policy, I'm doing the same thing with my family. And
Uh-huh.
they're gonna do what? They're gonna reminisce and they're gonna say, you know what, Dad used to say this to us all the time. Dad used to say this to us all the time.
Yeah.
One, a couple will take advantage of it, a couple will not. So that is the advantage of having them. Going back to what we were talking about, after I went to them, I picked up the forms and everything. I'm ready to company direct so they can get paid. The family will receive a check because both families didn't have to use the service for funeral. They did the
Uh-huh.
service. They paid for the service already. I had already arranged
Yeah.
that before. So
Oh, okay.
so all that money is going to the family. Free and clear.
Uh,
Free and clear.
nice. Now,
So
I remember in a previous show you're talking about there's a these papers that you would fill out where you'd ask them questions. I guess uh do you bring that paper back up once they die? Like I guess like whenever like how they prefer to be buried and stuff like
oh
that
yes,
or
yes, yes. I have that form with me right here. I have it in English and I have it in Spanish. We talked about it last week. What were my desires? What did I want? What cemetery did I want to go to? What type of service did I want? Did I want a pastor? I wanted a priest. Did I want a chaplain to speak over me the day that I pass away? Who did I want as pallbearers? That information that I talk about that we need to fill out because when they pull it out from their mom and dad's life insurance policy, it's already there and it is very vital because it goes to the vital statistics. The funeral director, when he gets that form, oh my God, his eyes light up because we just made his job easier. Because a lot
yeah,
of people they ask, okay, what was your grandpa's name? I don't know. Grandpa?
grandpa.
No,
Yeah.
¿cómo se llamaba grandpa? ¿Cómo se llamaba grandma? And all this information. When were they born? Who's the relatives? Who's this? ¿Quién es la tía Queta? Stuff like that. That's why
Yeah.
I have my clients fill out that form. I said, look, you need to fill out this form because the day something happens, this is going to make everybody's life easier. And sometimes they fill it out there. I go ahead and make a copy and I keep it in my file because I go to the client with their file and I tell them, look, this is your mom's file. This is your dad's file. Let's look through it because this is information that maybe you don't know that we need. Because it asks specific questions. When were they married? Who married them? Stuff like that. All of that is so important because the faster you fill out those forms, the faster that director can fill out all that information. He goes to the vital statistics of the town that you passed away. They have
Mhm.
to, of course, put them in their records, and that is there. That's who is going to go ahead and issue the death certificate. Let's say I'm from Mercedes, but I die in McAllen or I died in Brownsville. Well,
Uh-huh.
that's the people that you need to take that form to because that's where you passed away. Okay, it
Mm,
doesn't go
okay.
back to the original town, it goes to wherever you pass away. And you fill that stuff out and you mail it. We send all of that to the company.
Well, once again, I'd like to thank everyone that's joined our show. You're watching Ruben Rubio TX Live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We're here every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to find our social media, you can find it on our website, rubenrubiotx.com, as well as ask any questions you have, or if you want to set up an appointment for a future date, you can also find it there on rubenrubiotx.com. And I guess before we finish, would you say that setting all this up beforehand gives you more time to, I guess, mourn after someone's passed away? Once you have all this paperwork set up, you would you be easing the life of your loved ones, not
Oh
having to deal
yes,
with a lot of
oh
this?
yes. You make your family members' life less stressful and heart heart less stressful and less painful. Okay, because you know what? It's an act of love, as I've mentioned many times before, that when you purchase a life insurance, and then of course, you know that your family member at that moment is suffering. He or she is passing through a very hard and difficult time, and seeing things there. I've recommended to some. Is there any final words you would like to say to your husband, to your wife, to your kids? Go ahead and write them. And if it's private, just put me a little note saying, Mr. Rubio, this please surrender this to my wife. Please give this to my son. Please give this to my daughter. Because you know what, Richard? Sometimes, you know, as human beings, we find it difficult to admit our errors or admit that we've done wrong. And this is the time that you tell them, I'm sorry. When you were young, I accidentally hit you, or I accidentally dropped you, or you're the way you are because I molded you in a way that I shouldn't have. And I tell people, look, uh, in the old times, our fathers, our mothers, they were very harsh, and they were very rigid with us because that's the way they were with them.
Yeah,
Nowadays, of course, we are less stressful, hopefully, and we can communicate with our children. That doesn't mean I know all the new slang words that they talk. 'Cause
yeah,
that is not something I'm into. But I know how to try to communicate, and I've told my kids, you know what, Miko, Mika, I'm sorry. I may not have been the best father. I may not be the best person out there. And yeah, maybe I was kind of tough, and I shouldn't have slapped that guy or that lady that tried to take advantage of you, but too bad. And
uh,
like I've had incidents that I've had to defend my kids. You understand, Richard, that as
yeah,
a parent you sometimes have to defend your kids. Hey, calmate. My kid is not that way. I know how my kids are. I know how they're at
yeah,
home. I know how they're with their buddies. Okay, two different
mhm,
lives, but I know who they are, and I know that they wouldn't have
yeah,
done it, or this has happened. So as a parent, I would tell you, there's notes in these things where you can write a personal letter. And sometimes it's just good to just break open your heart and tell me, this is the type of man I was, and this is the way it is. And a lot of people, I hate to say that, that some people think I'm a hard ass, and sometimes I am, and
mhm,
sometimes I'm not. But that's just the way it is.
yeah.
So
Well, well, once again, I'd just like to thank everyone that did join us today. It was a pretty interesting conversation, reminiscing about lives that have gone before us. Just want to thank everyone. Remember, you're watching Ruben Rubio TX live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We're here every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to follow us on our social media, our links are on our website at rubenrubiotx.com. You can also ask any questions that you have, or if you'd like to set up an appointment with Ruben Rubio TX himself, there's a form there that you can fill out, and be glad to set up that appointment. And like I said, we'll be here every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time answering your questions regarding life insurance and all that it entails.
mm,
Anything else
no,
before?
no, that I don't think we've ever missed a show this year, have we?
No, been going on since February.
Yeah, yeah. We've had storms. We've had, rough
Power
times out
outages.
there.
Yeah.
We've gotten flooded a couple of times, but we have still been on the air.
Yep.
You know,
And we
And
will
thank God,
continue.
that you all get to listen, and I hope you take advantage of, some words of wisdom that I try to give to you. I mean, 30 years of experience. Wow, man, that's a long
It's a long
time.
time.
And people ask me, Mr. Rubio, how long you been doing this? Oh, 30 years. Oh my gosh, that's older than some of my clients, but
Yeah.
I try to do the best work for them, and as I've told other people, in the past, there's people that still come up to me and say, "Hey, hello, Mr. Rubio," and of course I don't remember everybody, I can't. And they
Yeah.
say,
30
"Yeah,
years.
you're
A lot
the
of
guy
people.
that used to go to my mom and dad's house, and you gave me that, Susan B. Anthony dollar, the little dollar. It used
Uh,
to be silver, then they went gold, and I don't know what color they are now,
Aluminum.
but I used to give them out for birthdays. I used to go there.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your kid's birthday. Hey, come here, Miko. Mika, look, here's a gold dollar. Here's a dollar. And people remember things like that. Or sometimes I give bubble. You know what? I don't have. I've got a pack of bubble gums. You want that? Oh yeah, sure. They'll take anything.
Yeah.
But people remember me. They remember me. A
Yeah.
veces no es nomás. Ay, viene el viejo del aseguro. Okay, so they don't call me that often anymore. Thank God. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been out there, Richard. We've been surviving, and I hope that you all keep listening in and take advantage of my knowledge and wisdom. And if I can really help you, hey, call me. I'll go out there. I'll set up an appointment, sit down with you and your loved ones, and if they have questions, which I now have more of a group session than just on a one-on-one, Richard,
Yeah.
because sometimes I'm there with mom and dad, and then they're, who are them? Oh, these are my kids. They just want to know what you're going to ask me, and I start just telling them. Oh, and of course, afterwards, I finish with the mom and dad. I go with them and start setting something
Yeah.
up with. So, well, you know what? This is a whole lot better than what they were offering me at the other company, because they just look at me and they look at a number, and they don't look at a person. And I tell them, well,
Yeah.
that's the personal touch that we can give you. You have a real human being that's going to be there to help you out. I keep getting a call from this lady from Edinburgh that tells me every month, Mr. Rubio, I don't know if they've collected from my account. And of course, I know that the lady, she's starting the process of dementia, and I asked her, yes, ma'am, let me give me a moment here. Let me just check my computer, and hey, you know what? Yeah, they went ahead and collected on the 3rd or the 7th. And you know, this is not
Yeah.
something you can do with most people. Most people just get upset and just hang up on you. I know. I
Yeah.
try to put the extra yard and be there with them.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good show. Once again, we'll hear at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesdays. You're watching Ruben Rubio TX Live, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you when we see you, and keep tuning in.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Ruben Rubio. I am going to be your insurance consultant this next journey that we're going to take. This journey is going to talk about life insurance. A lot of people ask about life insurance. A lot of people think they don't need life insurance. Many people insure their homes, they insure their cars, even their jewelry. But what they need to do is insure themselves. You know why? Because you are a moneymaker. If you make money, you provide for your family, your wife, your kids, or you have a business. There is no way to replace you. The only way is to have an insurance plan that will cover you the right way. If you liked the content and want to show your support, make sure that you like and comment below. For all questions and inquiries, you can submit them through my content form at RubenRubioTX.com. You can also find me across all the social medias, Ruben Rubio TX. Thank you. May the Lord bless you. Hello, my name is Ruben Rubio. Help support my channel by visiting my website, RubenRubioTX.com, on your phone, tablet, or PC. For Facebook, go to the menu and click on the Facebook logo. On my Facebook page, click like and follow. For Instagram, go to the menu and click on the Instagram logo. On my Instagram profile, click follow. For YouTube, go to the menu and click on the YouTube logo. On my YouTube page, click subscribe and ring the bell for all notifications. For Twitch, go to the menu and click on the Twitch logo. On my Twitch page, click the heart to follow. If you have questions you'd like answered on one of our live streams or YouTube videos, go to the menu and click on Ask a Question. Fill out all the details in the form and click Submit. You can choose to be anonymous or have your first name mentioned on the video. If you'd like to schedule a phone appointment, go to the menu and click Schedule Phone Appointment. Fill out all the details and when the best time to reach you, and we will get back to you at our earliest time available. Hola, mi nombre es Ruben Rubio. Para apoyar mi canal, visite mi sitio de web rubenrubiotx.com en tu teléfono, tableta o computadora. Para Facebook, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de Facebook. En mi página de Facebook, haga clic en like y siga. Para Instagram, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logo de Instagram. En mi perfil de Instagram, haga clic en seguir. Para YouTube, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de YouTube. En mi página de YouTube, haga clic en suscríbase y haga sonar la campana para todas las notificaciones. Para Twitch, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de Twitch. En mi página de Twitch, haga clic en el corazón para seguir. Si tienes preguntas que le gustaría responder en alguno de nuestros live streams o videos de YouTube, vaya al menú y haga clic en Ask a Question, llene todos los detalles del formulario y haga clic en Enviar. Puede elegir ser anónimo o que su primer nombre se mencione en el video. Si desea programar una cita por teléfono, vaya al menú y haga clic en Schedule Phone Appointment. Llene todos los detalles y cuando es el mejor momento para llegar a usted y nos encontraremos en nuestro momento más temprano disponible.